All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Pamela Howard, and I am your local event planner, strategist, and consultant. I am so excited about going behind the scenes with expert Lashanda Milner. She's a first impression consultant, and she has over 35 years of image building. Just want to talk a little bit about behind the scenes. Behind the scenes is a platform that I have created for people in the event industry, in the business world, that can share things with me, which I'm excited about, that I can bring to you that normally you wouldn't get this information unless you were able to go behind the scenes. So I'm especially excited about that. And without further ado, I'm just going to share a little bit of information about our expert. Ms. Lashanda Milner has 35 years of image building and consulting experience. She discovered her passion in personal image presentation and entrepreneurial lifestyle at the early age of 16. She continues to be passionate about empowering others through personal discovery and image building for an effectual professional presence. She is a writer, contributor for major publications and businesses, co-author of Professionables, Every Woman Can Be Fashionable and Professional, and The Chosen Divine. Lashanda participates in many mastermind groups, speaking at conferences, and sharing the platform with renowned speakers. Also hosting workshops centered on strategies and has received of strengthening your executive presence, managing your personal image, and teaching life skills that create the X factor of having that career competitive edge. Lashanda is a native of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Her brand, Lashanda M3, is headquartered in Charlotte, North Carolina. She graduated from UNC Charlotte, received a BA in business, and received her life coach certification and completed course at Carolina School of Etiquette. Her intuitive style, ability to think strategically, more than a few moves ahead, time management and goals, setting action plans are among the business disciplines that make her unique in the first impression consultant. Please help me welcome Miss Lashanda Milner. Hi,
Thank
Lashanda.
you. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for making me sound good.
That's because you are. Words just put the icing on the cake. You are.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor being here with you today. I've I've had many years of experience with your business. So being on your new platform here, I'm very, very excited. So thank you.
Good, good. I really appreciate and value the time that we're going to have this morning. And, we're here behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And
with my coffee.
Yes, by all means, the coffee
Absolutely.
in the morning. I haven't had mine yet, but. So, Lashanda, first I want to ask you a question. What is first image consulting?
First impression consulting is, that's okay. Just kind of think about it. This is the way I explain it because I like people. It's not about the title. It's really about your mindset around first impression.
Mm-hmm.
And so usually when we hear first impression, I mean, you think what? What do you think when you hear first impression, Pam?
I think, I actually start thinking about, putting forth my best.
Right. Okay. And so that's part of it. And that's usually what we normally think about first.
Mm-hmm.
But first impression is really the mental envision, right? Mm-hmm. So when you step out to be your best, then you're providing a mental vision of who you are from that person that you're in front of, or the networking event that you're going, all the people that you're going to be around. So first impression is showing up at your best, mm-hmm. but being mindful of the mental envision that you are portraying to others, mm-hmm. while yet still being in control of that first impression that you want to give as you step out and step up.
Gotcha.
So kind of answering the question, first impression consulting is what I do is help you build that mental vision of how you want to be perceived as you show up.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
speaking about those first impressions and networking and things of like that, real quick, and we'll get into it in just a little bit, but you know, making that first impression face to face, would you say it's just as important face to face than it is online as well?
You know what? It's the same. When you show up, right?
Mhm.
The difference maybe online, such as us right now, we just see, from waist up, right?
Right.
And in person, you see the whole person. So it's really the same. I don't separate that at all because
Mhm.
people are making a judgment of you. 55% is from your appearance. You still see somewhat of my appearance. 38% is the tonality of your voice, which
Mhm.
you hear that, right? And
Right.
7% is from the words that come out of your mouth, and we're communicating. So it
Correct.
doesn't matter face to face, online. It's the same. It's the same however you show up and wherever you show up.
I'm glad that you said that. Something that you said stuck out to me. Wherever you are, whether it's online, whether it's in person, when you show up, you just show up. And when you
Absolutely.
show up, you need to make that first impression. Because I'll tell you, as an event planner and helping different businesses with these online events, I have seen some things that I'm like, okay, first of all, I don't want to be in your bedroom. Second of all, I don't want what you eating for breakfast. I don't want any of that. But
Yeah.
yet, people, when they show up, that's how they show up. And
Right. And you build that perception from that, right? However they
exactly.
show up, food in the
Mhm.
bedroom, whatever, you're building that impression, that
Yes,
first impression.
right.
So it matters from your appearance to your behavior,
Hmm.
to your communication, and to your performance, whatever
Yes,
that may be in a professional realm. So yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right. I can chit chat with you all day, but let me get to these questions because some of these questions did actually come from some of the followers of Pamela Plans and from Lashanda M3. So tell me, what's the difference between an image consultant and a
Mhm.
personal stylist?
Okay, good question. And I get that a lot because when I show up at events and things, people are like, "I want you to style me," and so it's a little bit deeper than that. So a stylist is more kind of keeping up with the trends and talking about the colors that you need to wear and
Mhm.
the new styles, the Pantone colors, and all of that, which is important. And that's part of my program also, but image consultant kind of gets a little bit deeper, Pam. It's more of kind of in evaluating the inner to the outer,
Mhm.
because most of the time we as women and men,
Mhm.
we kind of build our wardrobe or our style from internal things. Most of the time when you really sit down and kind of talk with the client and go deeper than just going straight out to the clothing stores, when you sit down and really figure it out, is we've made a decision from maybe our childhood, or our mother or father told us this is the way we need to look, or just
Mhm.
because we are a mother and father, we need to dress this way.
Right.
So to even discover yourself, the true self, the new you that you're wanting to have by having an image consultant on your side, we need to address those inner, and I need to respect those. We need to
Mhm.
talk about them to see if you're ready to make that change.
Mhm.
So again, it starts there. Then first, as a stylist, straight out to the clothing stores to talk about colors and styles and all of that. It's the internal first. And so
Gotcha.
that's the difference. Your image consultant kind of goes through a journey with you in order to reach that end result of that full package. And speaking of that, image consultants address the full package of the appearance, your behavior, your communication. We kind of go through all of that that creates that outer look. And we're almost, I even categorize as almost part of your marketing budget because we help market you at being and looking and feeling your best.
I can say from personal experience of yours, I think I've experienced both of that, being styled. I remember you taking me through a series of questions in regards to what kind of impression am I trying to give to people that want to see my photos. And I knew at that time, one of the things that I was trying to um, can't think of the word, but I was trying to, I guess, exemplify to people was, people always saw me as a planner slash designer, but I wanted to show up as a business owner. And so when you styled me and consulted me about how to present myself and how I should dress, I mean, it's like you said, it's the overall package.
Absolutely.
And how you want to show up, as you said. Now, one thing you said for women and men, and that was going to be another question. So your client would be male or female.
Absolutely. I mean, the need, the service image is something that everyone needs to consider, however you want that to be. So my focus is more on the professional side of image building. So that's for men and women. We have both out here in the professional industry. I do find, though, that that women are more interested in the process, in the journey, in really having someone help them build their professional brand. Men are more interested in first the styling part. What do I need to wear? And they're not really that sit down, mushy, finding out what the internal is.
Right.
And I get it, but I don't. I don't overlook that part of my business because I know what the results are, and that's kind of taking the shortcut if I don't address that. So I respect that they don't want to sit down and kind of go over those things, but yet nor do I eliminate it or exclude it because I know that it helps create that overall result, not just because of what you've invested in me to do my job, but I want to see, it makes me feel good also to see the transformation that's permanent. That's what I try to go for also, Pam, is not, even though I'm hired for special events, like I have speakers that, have 3 months of speaking engagements and they want to set up a strategy for that. But I take those clients also, but I even want those type of clients to, once we release our hands from each other, that they feel comfortable in continuing that. And so that's what I go for. So I don't shortcut anything, male or female. I respect where you are and how you feel about it, but we still must go through that process.
So I'm about to give you some shout outs right now. Embrace the process, ladies and gentlemen. Embrace the process, because I'm gonna tell you, from a current client, former client of Miss Milner, I hated print, right, Lashanda?
Yes, exactly right.
I told her, I said, I don't want to print, and she was like, can I just do my job? Yeah. So I'm telling you from experience, embrace it. As you can see, I have on stripes.
Right. And the right, it's all about the diagonal, the way the stripes are going, right? So you got them elongate.
I even have on this, you can't see it, I'm raising it
a
up.
Splash of color.
Splash of color. Even my glasses are red. So embrace the process, because one, it gave me so much confidence. What you did for me gave me so much confidence to be able to just push forward on my dream and be the consultant that I want to be. Like you said, you love doing things in the event world, but when you get ready to take that next step in your career, you want to show up. And and sometimes you need a first impression image consultant to be able to show up. And so my shout out is embrace the process. Embrace the process.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Pam, you said that's important is confidence. I mean, all of us, everybody on this earth,
Mhm.
want to feel confident, right? And
Right.
that, and this is a process of doing that. When you know you've got on your favorite color,
Mhm.
and you like the style of how that dress or shirt or suit fits you, it just puts you in another mode of how you walk and how you talk, you know. And those are levels of confidence. So that's very important. That's what I go after is making
Absolutely.
sure you feel that level of confidence, and it builds your self-esteem, and that's very important, especially in a professional realm.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Um, all right. So next question. Most non-essential businesses are pivoting their business to be virtual, offering remote services and e-commerce products. How demanding is a first impression image online?
Very. You know, when you are doing these Zoom meetings and Facebook lives and all of that, it's all about mindfulness, right?
Mhm.
um, we already have issues with trust.
Mhm.
It's just an issue, especially in the workplace and your professional uh, environment. So to show up even more, to me, I feel like it's a little bit more work, because you're not there to touch and feel and be face to face with someone. I mean, you're just sitting back, kind of watching them, just as what you're doing with me, and yet building those impressions, again, those mental thoughts about who I am, without me really having that side talk, or that side chat for
Mhm.
you to really know and get to know me more, right? And so showing up on these Zooms and these Facebook Lives is a little bit more work. It is, because while you're talking, you're totally, I mean, that's all you can do for me right now is just look at me, right? And hear what I'm saying. So um, just it creates a little bit more time of mindfulness of how you need to show up,
Mhm.
from even your background. I mean, you know, now you got to be considered on what your background looks like, and how you
Exactly.
blend in with that, the colors that you're going to wear,
Mhm.
and the lighting, all of that. Again, it's just, you know, it's just so important. So not to make it harder, not to put something extra on your plate. It's just, how I can sum it up is just be a little bit more mindful about your entire surroundings, from how you dress, show up, communicate, behave, to even your surroundings of
Right.
where you're sitting to video. Yes.
Absolutely. I know just a couple of weeks ago, I did a webinar called SMART, and SMART was the acronym for being specific and simple, measurable, attainable. You know, everybody knows that acronym, you know,
Mm-hmm.
realistic and timely, but how that relates to you when you're hosting your events online. And one of
Yes.
the key things I talked about that came to my memory as you were speaking was you have to realize sometimes in your messaging, especially when you, like you said, aren't able to touch and feel, it's very important that you have some type of enthusiasm, and
Absolutely.
you know you're able to engage with who you're speaking with, because all of that matters when it comes to showing up and having that downright great first impression. You know,
Yeah.
somebody comes
Yeah.
to see you for the first time, you know, you can write up a great a great article about yourself and others, but if you come on there and you're just like,
Yeah.
I'm
It's
the
like,
only
let me
one.
close my computer down and go to the next webinar,
Exactly.
or yeah, yeah,
Exactly. You know, it
yeah,
used to be, before we became so involved with virtual events, it was all about showing up in your emails. You know, we used to say emails didn't have emotion. And so you had to be very careful on how you articulate your verbiage in your emails. And really, it is more work online. It is.
yeah.
And so, all right.
Yeah, and so, and Pam, and so you brought up something that's very important. I actually have a program that's called the EASE program, and you're mentioning some things that we sometimes overlook. E's meaning that I cover the essentials. E for essentials, like our soft skills. I mean, things we forget about those things, no matter how high up, C-suite, whatever we are.
Yes.
Sometimes we forget about those things, the soft skills and being very intentional. And then I also cover audience, our behavioral styles. There's different behavioral styles, and sometimes as we grow in our careers, those behavior styles change, and we need to kind of stop for a minute and really put attention on that and ask ourselves, is this the style that I want to portray? And then the S, I cover like your social conversations, such as your emails and your phone messages and your texting. You know, we kind of just do those things naturally and not be aware of those. So, you know, we kind of cover that in the program. And then the E being some etiquette things and how you entertain, how you connect with people, such as your attitude. Those things help connect. And sometimes we just do it so naturally. You know, we're in sales, and, you know, especially small business owners, we're always selling. But believe it or not, it's statistically known that 98% of your selling is from your personality, how you show up, you know, whether it's in your emails or how you show up, whether it's in the video. So people need to feel that. So that whole entertaining, I call it entertaining, but it's the connection. And again, 98% of your sales comes from your personality, and people need to feel that and see that. Absolutely. So just wanted to bring that up because these are things.
Excellent.
Yeah, these are things in the program that we don't even think about, but I help you kind of draw attention again to those things as we grow in our career.
Yes, this is fantastic. Woo, juicy stuff. Okay. All right. So I have a question here, and I kind of feel like you've already answered it, but just for the sake of being specific and clear, what makes someone want to work with an image consultant?
That's a good question. And I can give you some different answers from what we've talked about. You know, it's really asking asking the client, you know, how are you wanting to position yourself, right? In your career, in your business. What do you truly think professionalism is, right? And are you doing those things that's leading you through your journey of being a small business owner, or your next level that you want to be in your corporate job? Those are questions that you need to ask yourself. And then if you don't have what you feel is the true answer to get you there, to get you positioned, to really understand truly what your professionalism looks like and what you define it to be, then that's maybe you might need a little hand holding. And some of my clients need a 3-month hand holding. Some of my clients need a year hand holding, to go through those 3 important questions. You know, are you positioning yourself for the next level? What do you truly think professionalism looks like for you? And are you doing those things now? And so if you're not clear with those answers that you're asking yourself, then I would say, hey, that would be something for you to consider, maybe in image consulting, but because again, it's more than just styling. It's that whole behavior, communication, and how you want to perform. And sometimes you need someone to kind of, remind you or introduce to you for the first time those steps in order to get to that next level.
Gotcha. Okay. And this is probably a question you've heard a lot. And I'm sure a lot of listeners and viewers would probably ask themselves this question. Is it only about the clothes?
Oh, Lordy. Yeah, that's a very good question. No, it is not. As we said, now it's even in these uncertain times, I feel image is even more important. Again, because we are not connecting the way the old connection was, and that's having the lunches and going to the various networking events. So clothing is a part of it, but connecting now the way that we do virtually more, and I feel like it's going to stay that way. We're going to have to get used to this, right? And so really learning the new way of communicating. I mean, using words now that we used to use before are going to mean different things in this new norm. Our behaviors are going to be seen a little differently. Because again, just the way that we are having to connect now. So no, it's not all about the clothing. We do want to look our best, and it's not about going out here, buying a whole new wardrobe. I don't even start that way. Even when we touch on the styling side, we most likely have what we need in our wardrobe. Maybe just some few little holes that we need to fill in. It's not, again, it's not all about the clothing. It's our behaviors, how we're communicating in order to make that new way of connecting.
So this is going to be a little humorous, but you know what the word is out on the E Street, right? That's what I call it, the E Street.
Okay.
People aren't wearing pants anymore.
Okay, you're in the bedroom now, Pam. Remember that?
It's like nobody's wearing pants anymore. Just dressing from the waist up. But in all seriousness, y'all, when what I've heard through all these questions that I've been asking, everything that I have heard is all about the mindset, which tells me that it's not all physical, even though showing up is a physical action.
Absolutely.
So when our state became, had the stay-at-home order, and we had to start practicing social distancing, I started developing a mindset that I wanted to keep my life as normal as possible, even my work. So, as I ask these questions and you talk about, images also about like a mindset first, that was my mindset. It was like, I'm going to set my alarm. I'm going to get up and do what I do before I go to work. And I'm going to get up and I'm going to show up on my computer for work and do what I do best. So I can't go out to my favorite coffee house and meet with my clients or meet them at a place they may suggest. But I'm going to show up and I'm going to connect and meet with them virtually. And I get fully dressed. I mean, face, hair, the whole outfit, shoes and all. Just because I feel I am so in tune with what you're saying about having that mindset. If you don't have that strong mindset, then you're just going to show up any kind of way.
Absolutely.
You're going to start gravitating to leisure things and negative things. And that's why you see so many people that may come and have their robe on, or they got the rag on their head, or they're sitting in the bed with their laptop. The backdrop may be plain, but you can tell when you're in your bedroom. I mean, come on. But that mindset is very, very, very important.
And so, and Pam, on top of that, I mean, you said something that triggered that I feel like that I need to mention, is, I said even now is more important to even value the clothing that you have. I mean, it's sometimes we just take those things for granted, but when you do show up virtually, however that may be, we do need to still create that routine of ready to go to work and wearing the color that's our favorite color, because colors create moods, emotions. And so even if we may not feel like getting up, going to work in front of our computer, wherever we are, sometimes putting on your favorite color, which is, I have on one of my favorites, green, that it just puts you in a different kind of mindset. And whether that mindset is get ready for work, or that mindset is doing an email, all of that kind of helps get your day going. And I even, even a joke, I mean, take even dinner times now, dress up like you're going out to a restaurant, or, going to an evening networking event or dinner or something with, with the client. Dress up like that and treat your dinner time like that, to keep the routine going and let us not lax
Right.
because we are at home in front of our computers. Let us not lax our image, because
Right.
that's one thing. The crisis, pandemic, whatever you want to call it, cannot take away your personal image. That's
Yes.
one thing it cannot change,
Yes.
right? You are in control. That is something that you are in control of, and everybody on this earth wants to have some form of control. And I'm gonna tell you, that is one thing that you have control of, is your personal image. How you show up, how you behave, how you communicate, the words that you use out of your mouth. Those are things that you can control. So why not stay in control and manage your professional and personal image?
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Yes. Yes. Amen.
Yes. All right. So we're getting towards the end of our questions. We've answered one of the other questions. Did you service men and women? Because, and you stated, that women gravitate mostly to the actual journey of it. But men and women, we all have to be concerned about our professional image, and
Absolutely.
even more so online. Um, and
And let me mention, if
mhm,
I always like to mention this, I've seen a lot of even pictures that are on Facebook and stuff now. I mean, we do that with a quote on the side and all of that. So even the photography, the photos that we use
mhm,
online are very important.
mhm,
And my photographer, Kevin Douglas, has actually he's very good with that. Not trying to throw out a plug or anything, but just kind
yeah,
of mentioning that those things are very important too. So as we update our photos to
mhm,
use online, or however we're planning on using them to stay connected with people, that's very important also. So keep those updated as we build our personal image. I just want to kind of
yeah,
throw that in.
that's absolutely correct. And I'm very familiar with Kevin. I've actually used him myself, and he does have an eye, that image eye, if I can say, when it
Yes.
comes to portraying an image through photo. Very, very important. And also, I lost my thought for a minute, but
That's okay. And you were getting ready to end. I don't want to go, but anyway, I'm sorry.
yeah, that is because, um, I've been on several Zoom events, networking events, mastermind events, and everyone doesn't always show up in video. And
Yeah.
sometimes the pictures that are on there are cartoon characters or animated characters. It
Yeah.
may just be a name. I'd rather see a name than that. But
Yeah.
I also I have another workshop that I offer, and it's called "How to Generate New Customers and New Revenue Through Events." And one of the main components of that is having a PR profile that you can use to generate new customers and new events. I mean, new
Mm,
customers and new revenue. And it talks about how, you mentioned keeping your profile picture up to date. It
mhm.
talks about, from an event marketing perspective, a minimum of every 2 years to update your pictures. But again, is that the same for imaging, professional, imaging, or would you say it be less or around the same?
Actually, I would say, that really again goes back to how the person is building their personal brand.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are, some of my clients are novice in the career. So I have from uh, college clients going into their fields for the very first time, and so they need, at least a good first year wardrobe. And they usually try to move very fast through their career ranks. So that requires them maybe to revisit their whole image, the whole package within a year.
Right.
Then I have clients that are entrepreneurs such as ourselves that, are now trying to create a new look. So that may be from, you may only need me for 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of get you going. And then maybe we revisit the same time next year or whatever. So again, it depends on, it's customized. The packages are customized because the clients have different needs on how they're building their personal brand.
Sure, absolutely. Makes
Yeah.
perfectly good sense. Okay. I have two more questions. What kinds of results are possible with having a first impression image consultant?
The results, what I go after, different image consultants, have their own results that they're looking for. But the results that I go after is the permanent transformation, not just to transform for that particular project or that particular time online or whatever your needs are, but to continue that, to build the new you, to discover the new you. Because too, building your personal image also kind of pulls out some capabilities and abilities that you thought you didn't have, along with building that confidence level. So those are the results. That is the end result that I go after. So the means of doing that is client by client. Depending on how much we see that they are internalizing the importance of the steps that need to be taken.
Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. Last and final. How long do you need to work with an image consultant? And I think you've already said that, but again, just out of respect of addressing everyone's questions.
Yes. So the length of time, again, is what you need. I do not. That's one thing with my business. The least amount of time is a 3-month time period. I don't do anything less than that. If that's what you want, I can refer you out. That's one thing, in order for me to feel comfortable at the end of our connection. I know what it takes for me to give you what you need. And so 3 months is the least time that I do. Some image consultants do a couple of weeks. If that gives them what their end result is, their company mission is, that's great. I don't see any problem with that. But mine is no less than 3 months. The longest that I have continued to work with a client before them coming back to revisit or to grow to the next level, the longest has been 2 years. Working with a client from 3 months to 2 years is really kind of my general model that I have.
Okay, awesome. Well, Lashanda, this has been fantastic. I definitely know that a lot of information that you've shared is going to be beneficial. I'm partial to my event industry, but really what you have shared is going to be for any industry. Anyone in business that needs to actually stand up and present themselves in a professional way. And so I want to thank you for sharing all of those nuggets with me behind the scenes. So how can people connect with you? What does this process look like for someone that sees this video and they're like, I'm definitely going to put your contact information out there, but what does that process look like for them? Because that's another thing, I think we both can say that is going to affect our images, the process to connect and actually for people to want to engage in your service. That is also an image as well. So how can people connect with you or inquire and get started?
Sure. Thanks for asking and allowing me to share that on your platform. What I am doing during this uncertain time is I'm doing a 15-minute free consult just to kind of talk, because everyone's process is going to be different. And in order for me to at least give you an idea what that looks like for you as the client, then I'm offering a 15-minute complimentary consult. And I'm not a stickler to, boom, 15 minutes, we're hanging up or whatever. But just a moment I have particular questions. Through my 35 years. I've kind of built a question base to really, kind of dig down immediately to kind of get some things that I need to know to help guide you on what I would recommend as your next step. So I'm offering that 15-minute consult. And if one is interested, they can email me at image@lashandam3.com, and for your membership base if they would just title it Pamela Plans member. And then I would know, that they've watched this video and handle it from there. So I would say that would be the first process to connect with me, to keep it simple and manageable, and no stress at all. We can just start with that 15-minute consult.
That's awesome. Okay, so you all have heard it from Miss Lashanda Milner Murphy. Make sure that you jot down the email address. And can you say that one more time, the email address, Lashanda?
Yes, image at Lashanda, that's LASHANDA, the letter M, the number 3.com.
Awesome. Okay. So if you have, I want to also open up this opportunity as if there's anything else that you would like to share, anything that you think is pertinent to our now new norm with COVID-19. And I would like to open that up and share, but this has been an awesome interview behind the scenes. I'm so thrilled. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to hear everyone's responses when they see this video.
Absolutely. Same here, Pam. Again, thank you. I extend my my heart out to the world.
Yeah.
Let's comply where we need to comply, and understand there is a new norm. Let's move forward, understanding that is going to be the case, and however that may look in your profession, do sit down and evaluate it so we all can move forward and make things better for each other. And do remember, I do want to close out to say that the crisis, the pandemic, cannot take away or change your mindset of what you want your personal image and professional image to be. Because one thing, image does not cost, it pays.
Exactly, actually. And in closing, I'm going to say this: work must go on, keep your image professional, and show up.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thanks, Pam.